happy to be here. As we are most of us are rather in a lockdown. Some of us particularly in your country, in Belarus, political crisis, and depending, where we are globally, all of us are going through transitions, are evolving. Some are actually thriving through the COVID pandemic, others are not so much. And I wanted to speak a little bit with sharing some of my experiences and how to move forward and as entrepreneurs in this difficult time. Just briefly, I'm an entrepreneur myself, but I actually was originally a professional classical ballet dancer. And with the ballet company in Boston and Montreal, Quebec, that's what brought me to Paris, France. I'm an American in Paris, actually half Lithuanian American. And I also am a business angel, because being interested on the supply and demand side, as an entrepreneur on the demand side. And then at the time, it was like about maybe 20, I guess a good 10 years ago, 15 years ago, before business angels were really very active in Europe. I was pioneering within the angel networks in France and abroad to see why it's so difficult to get access to finance, especially in the early stage. By being interested on that business angel side, I've become an active business angel myself, and I'm on the boards of the European Business Angel Network in Brussels, also the Nordic Female Business Angels Network in Helsinki, and also in France, and helped set up an angel network in the Middle East, one of the first in Bahrain. And I'm very involved with managing entrepreneurship programs and creating them for engineering schools to bring the innovation with the management, and mentoring quite a bit with different accelerators. I have quite a diversified portfolio. As passion is my big thing, I'm a passionpreneur. So because I'm very involved in sports, I'm interested in sport tech, but also in med tech, biotech, and also in food tech, deep tech. For me, it's more love at first sight, in the sense that if I see a great team, I see the passion in the entrepreneur, and I can see that can get to the finishing line. I could end up investing in cybersecurity, knowing that they will follow through with their milestones. As I was saying earlier, is how in this moment, when most people, entrepreneurs, are trying to link with other entrepreneurs or investors in this ecosystem from a distance. I actually am a very people person. So for me, I get energy from people, and I get more energy from giving it and seeing how I can motivate and inspire entrepreneurs to reach their objectives. So a screen for me is rather difficult and is not actually my cup of tea. But at the same time, what do I have to do in a situation like this in order to also thrive and to continue motivating my entrepreneurs within my network, and also being able to mobilize business angels to invest in the right projects. And this is where it becomes important on how we can innovate in these moments. But when I say innovate, I'm saying innovate forward, because what we're tending to do is that many may say, oh, this is the new normal, so I'm going to innovate in the new normal. But actually, are we becoming passive and not active? Are we just allowing the strict measures that governments are putting forward and being passive about the situation? Or are we going to be active and mobilize things in whatever sector we're in, knowing that we need to innovate so that we'll be as close to the normal that we are? An example is just in sport. People innovated to do Zooms on doing workouts from a distance, and clubs trying to still show they're active. But at the same time, this is great for lockdown season 1. But now we're in lockdown season 2 in my situation in France. And the Zoom does not really help me to be a great competitor in fencing when I need to have an opponent in fencing, and also when I need a horse to do my horse jumps. So how can we then innovate so that we can get back out there on the horse stables and do our competing? How can we mobilize associations to find how we can do the proper protocols so that we can go back as close to the normal? When we have, for example, also trying to make connections from a distance, this is where also you don't want to forget your 5 W's. You know, your who, what, where, when, and why. You know, who is behind the idea, what is the idea, where is the opportunity, when you're going to get to the finishing line, and why. And why is, I stress, is one of the most important, because why is what shows your passion. And that's where we tend to forget in this situation now, being in the digital world, is that we tend to focus more on the other aspects of the business rather than on you. And we're investing in you as an angel investor. And we really need to feel that passion, especially during a time like this, where we want to see that if you're finding solutions for the COVID in whichever sector, that you will be making an impact. And there's going to be a lot more lows before the highs. So how will you endure it? And through that passion are why I say comes those 3 P's, is pace, passion, and perseverance. Pace, because I'm actually someone that wants it and wants it now. And I've learned through my fencing that actually patience and strategy is very important. And through patience, it doesn't mean that I'm going to get slower to my objectives and to reach my goals. Actually, by being patient and waiting for the right timing, actually can get me there closer. I also, because of the very short time I have, trying to give you specific aspects for you to walk away with, is just to give example, when I say sport, how my background in fencing and horse riding, I just had 3 years in horseback riding and fencing. I had, before the lockdown, had gone into 2 competitions, which the French national competitions, just 3 years fencing in my mid 40s. I ended up with 2 bronze medals in a very short time. But horse riding, I had my gold medals in show jumping. I reached, my different gallo levels in very short time. But what motivated me in this was just the fact that, age also, for some of you, that should not be a barrier. And at the same time, if you feel that that once you were very passionate about something, or you were very involved in a specific hobby or specific interest, and you feel it's too late because of where you are now in your own situation, age has nothing to do with it. It's really how motivated you are. And that's also why, as an entrepreneur, it's so important being motivated. Part of also what is so important about your pitch is that you want to motivate someone to act on your project, to take part in wanting to meet with you. And for me, these objectives I had within the sport transferred into my professional. And that's why I also say to those who are in that entrepreneurship world, and some may have burnouts, some may feel that they don't have time for the exercise, or on lockdown, it makes things more difficult. But it is very important, because part of sport gives you certain tenacity and goals, and also actually transfers. And with my horse riding, doing the show jumping, I was sometimes when I'm seeing that the obstacle is higher than expected, the coach tells me, why are you being tentative? You know your stuff. Go ahead. If you hesitate, the horse is going to hesitate. And by having gone through adjustments and to overcoming fear with the horse jumping, actually I became a better investor, because I used to hesitate on making investment decisions, thinking that maybe it's too much risk, this or that. Now, actually, I invest with my instincts, because I know that I like the team, I like the person behind it, I know that they have the passion, that they have the right people, and that they will be reaching their objectives. So why am I doubting it? And so I go full force into my decisions much more. And the fencing was with the patience and strategy, is because it's almost like 3D chess. But it taught me to, in making decisions, it taught me that sometimes when I'm on the board, I'm on several boards of organizations, and I like people to have harmony and to come together if they're having disagreements. But again, it's like I want everybody to come up with these, to come together a lot sooner than maybe actually people are ready to. And that's what I learned, that sometimes some things you should allow to play out. Sometimes it'll come together on its end, or sometimes people will be less heated about the decision making, that they'll be more receptive later. When I'm saying active to mobilize, is that as I'm saying again, everybody in their specific countries are going through difficult challenges, very much different globally. And when I'm saying active to mobilize, is just that some of us are becoming passive and kind of waiting to see what are the next measures, or what is the next decision making, etc. We need to be more active in what we're involved with, whatever our sector is, to mobilize it. In France, the sport nobody's been able to go to the sport clubs. No one's been able to compete, where they're actually, for example, fencing, they're competing in other countries. So they're feeling that it's not fair to fencers in France that they can't compete. So they've been mobilizing amongst each other to show how important that the sport is, and why it's also for youth, etc. And now actually they're trying to put forth a new measures because of this. So I also wanted to share with you very quickly too, is something important to remember too. It's Nelson Mandela that had said, sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to youth in language they understand. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair. It is more powerful than governments in breaking down racial barriers. This is where it's important to remember that when we're creating communities and linking together, this is part of the humane aspect, and communities are important. And that's where I want to leave with you also, to know that, as I was telling you, I'm actually an empath. So like I said, I need energy and feeling the human energy within, physically. But the great thing that you can do, when some entrepreneurs say that, how can they trust other entrepreneurs, even investors? How can you trust other the type of investors, is that you have your inner circle and you trust those in your inner circle. And that's where you need to trust those in your inner circle with their network that they can introduce you to as you grow your network from a distance. And just to leave with you with is that right now in Belarus, you may feel the world is upside down. Well, it's going to take a lot of hands to turn it right side up. And so we entrepreneurs need to mobilize and make that happen. So with the very short time I had, I hope that a few of the things I've thrown out there will have you thinking about how we can be more active and start mobilizing. And good luck in your entrepreneurial adventures.